This is my video on healthy cooking, because you see we challenged each other, and the one that I got was like, nobody thinks Victoria can do healthy cooking, which is totally true, obviously, and making cookies instead.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
These are my classic chocolate chip cookies. Very basic. So basic we're going to do it in however long this video takes. So, things you will need. Vanilla, 2 sticks of butter, 2/3 a cup of brown sugar, 2/3 a cup of white sugar, 2 eggs. This is a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 1/4 cups flour. That's all you need. And then a lot of chocolate chips, obviously. The chocolate chips are there. Lots of them. I don't even measure normally, but I'm trying to measure for this video. So you wash your hands. And then you put the butter and the rest of the butter, shake it down in there. Both of the sugars. There's 2/3 a cup brown sugar, 2/3 a cup white sugar, and then a teaspoon of vanilla. And you don't want to put too much of that in, because if you put too much of that in, it really alters the taste. So, all that's in, and you set it, you set it to, you set it there to mix. But my philosophy is that cookies are super, super important, and the reason that sugar is at the top of the food pyramid is because it's really important. Not because you're supposed to have the smallest amount, but because it's like, yeah, sugar. It's what gets you through the day. Then we're going to add the eggs, and normally you would add the eggs one at a time, but because they've already been put into this container this way, we're just going to add the eggs at once. And we're going to turn it on again. While that's mixing, I'm going to take my dry ingredients, these pretty stacking bowls that my mother has never used before, except for tonight. I'm going to take my stacking ingredients, and my dry ingredients, and this is 2 1/4 cups flour, and then the teaspoon of salt and the teaspoon of baking soda. And it's all going to go in together, and I'm just going to mix. It gets messy, but my dry ingredients are all mixed together. You can't see it because they're all white. So we're going to trust that they're mixed together, and I'm going to start adding the flour mixture slowly. Kind of slowly. You want to like tap a portion of it in, and then when you're convinced it's not going to like fly back up in your face, you're going to keep putting more and more in until all of your flour mixture. Sometimes I get impatient when I just dump it all in. And I'm going to let it mix. Look in there. You see how, ooh, it looks really good. Come over here. And I'm going to stir. You might see, like, if you can look down in here, if there's any flour. Look how good that looks, though. If there's any flour left, I'm going to stir that up. But there's one thing that is clearly missing from this mixture, and that's chocolate chips. So I'm going to grab my inordinately large amount of chocolate chips. See how much prettier it looks now that there's chocolate involved? Chocolate is like at the very, very top of the pyramid. It is good for you. Studies have shown that dark chocolate, which is the only chocolate, milk chocolate is not a real kind of chocolate, despite what milk chocolate eaters and producers would have you believe. So, we stir that up. It looks fabulous, but there's something still left to do, and a lot of people get scared of this part, and this is the part where we put the cookie dough onto the tray. I think that maybe you need a spatula or like an ice cream scoop. No. Coolest technique. Learned it when I was like 8. You take a spoonful, okay? And you start between 2 spoons. You work it into a ball. And then it falls right off on there. Oh, how awesome is that? I swear the only reason I made this video is so I could show you my trick. But you just kind of use the 2 spoons to scoop it. Look at our beautiful cookie tray. Cookies are going to go in the oven, which is set to 375 degrees, and they're going to go in for about 8 to 9 minutes. Okay? Ooh, they're a little light, but one of the things about these cookies is you want to take them out when they are about 30 seconds to a minute underdone, because they'll continue to cook the last minute on the tray. This was my cookie tutorial, because obviously cookies they classify as healthy food. Cookie tutorial wouldn't be any fun unless I gave you cookies. So comment in the video, and if I pick you via some online random number generator, however that thing works, I will give you a batch of the cookies, and I promise that they will be the proper color and consistency. So, cookies are good.